Welcome to the Voice of Reason for Tuesday, May 16th, the podcast that seeks to bring you insightful discussions on the most pressing issues of our time. We had planned to have independent candidate Zulkifil Mujahid and Connie Shields back to continue our exploration of his vision of improving our community. Unfortunately, Zulkifil had another interview that conflicted with our schedule. However, Connie has agreed to join us. So we heard about the education reform, and I understand we just scratched the surface on the plans to revolutionize our education system. And I eventually want to hear it all. But tonight, I want to open the discussion on what the plans are to improve our healthcare system. Our healthcare has been in trouble for years, and COVID crisis seemed to be the straw that broke the camel's back. The one issue that keeps coming up is the centralization of EMS dispatch. Connie, has Zulkifil had a chance to weigh in on this topic?
Yes, actually, I've had the opportunity to discuss this topic at great length with him. This is an issue that's been on the forefront for a while now. We actually are very disappointed that the UCP government and AHS decided to ignore the pleadings of not just our mayor, but the other three mayors whose municipalities were also affected by the move. We hear reports that the centralization of the dispatch system has resulted in longer response times and has even been the matter of life and death in a few situations. Oddly enough, though, I heard Tani Yao, a former EMS worker, advocating for the return to the local dispatch, but what's concerning is it was his own party that centralized it in the first place and then rejected all the concerns from the affected areas. Tyler Shandro was very direct in his response to the mayor at the time. I believe it was Don Scott. I read the letter. It's online if anybody wants to look at it. Throughout his response to the mayors, he even scolds them as though they were little children about the way they were talking about the decision. Anyway, that aside, then we have UCP candidate Brian Jean. Although he recognizes that we struggle locally with the camps and the rural addresses here, he says he's satisfied with the current health minister, Jason Coping, and AHS's proposal, which was just released in January of this year. What they decided was it is the 30% increase in demand for EMS services. That in itself is something that we really should be investigating. Why is there a 30% increase in demand? That could be an episode all by itself, Doug. That aside, that aside, they claim that it's this increase in demand and not the fact that dispatch is coming from elsewhere that has resulted in the increased response times. And therefore, they're sticking with status quo and saying that it should remain centralized. I'm not sure how that answers the issues with the dispatcher in Calgary not recognizing an address that might not be accessible by road, but Mr. Jean is satisfied all the same. I can tell you, Mr. Mujahid is far from satisfied. It's imperative to the health and well-being of our community and our First Nations communities that we return the EMS dispatch to the local level. We operated it here for over 40 years, so bringing it back should be a fairly smooth transition. I understand that our city council even offered to cover the costs, and AHS still says no. So there seems to be another can of worms being opened here. If it's not the money, what is it? So Zulkifil will continue to advocate for the return of local EMS dispatch until it is operating out of our dispatch center.
Well, I, for one, am happy to hear that. I have lived in Fort McMurray for many years, and I can attest to the fact that someone in Calgary or Edmonton would struggle to know the lay of the land up here without ever having been here. I spoke briefly with Zulkifil about a plan he was putting together that saw the integration of holistic medicine and natural healing.
Yes, he does. He has an integrative health initiative empowering our community through holistic medicine and cultural natural healing. This initiative is a community-driven effort aimed at promoting holistic medicine and various cultural natural healing methods as alternatives to enhance the health sector of our community. By recognizing and incorporating diverse healing traditions, we can empower individuals to take charge of their own well-being and foster a comprehensive approach to their health care. There are a few objectives he has in this initiative. The first is to raise awareness, to educate the community about the benefits of holistic medicine and different cultural natural healing practices, highlighting their effectiveness and potential integration with conventional medicines. And it will enhance access. So facilitating access to holistic healthcare options include traditional healing methods from different cultures by establishing partnerships, clinics, and programs that support and promote these approaches. He's encouraging collaboration among healthcare professionals, traditional healers, and practitioners of holistic medicine to exchange knowledge and create an integrated system that addresses the holistic well-being of individuals. Engaging community members by organizing workshops, seminars, and cultural events that promote holistic healing practices and provide opportunities for active participation. Then he also has a research and evidence objective to encourage scientific research and evidence-based studies to validate the efficacy of holistic medicine and cultural natural healing methods, bridging the gap between traditional and modern healthcare practices. He wants to establish an integrative healthcare centers within the community that provide a range of holistic services combining conventional medicine with culturally diverse healing practices. There's a training and education objective. Develop training programs for healthcare professionals and traditional healers, fostering an understanding of both holistic and conventional medicines to facilitate collaboration and ensure patient-centered approach. Collaborate with authorities and policymakers to integrate holistic medicine and cultural natural healing practices into existing healthcare systems. By embracing the Integrative Health Initiative, our community can unlock the full potential of holistic medicine and cultural natural healing practices, empowering individuals to actively participate in their healthcare journey and promoting a comprehensive, patient-centered approach to well-being.
I have to say, I am really impressed. It seems Zulkifil has really spent a lot of time researching and thinking outside the box. He has some great initiatives, and I think there's a huge portion of our population who is looking for a program somewhat like this.
I agree, and this is one of the benefits of having a diverse population. There are cultural practices that many of us know nothing about, but could really benefit from. Wait until you see his plan for a pharmacy, a planting healing garden. That is all in his business and trade initiatives. So there's lots more to come.
Well, we're running out of time, so maybe we can set that up for our next discussion.
Sounds good, and so people should be back for tomorrow as well.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me tonight. We gained more insight to the Zulkifil Mujahid's game plan. Again, we encourage the audience to post questions in the comments. So at this time, we bid you all a good night. And remember to always be the voice of reason. Until tomorrow, good night. God bless.
Good night.